Greetings out there, Astara Inrstelr here. Hope my Mystical Illuminations family out there is all doing incredible. And today I'm going to be diving into a new transmission about where we are at, certain things that are going on in terms of planetary, personal, cosmic evolution, also some galactic history stuff, and definitely going to be tying this all into a new activation, meditation, and ceremony that I have created with the links posted down below that you can grab that meditation ceremony. Now, for starters, I just want to get into this process that we are in right now and these layers that are coming online right now. So one of my last videos, there are some little things about that. If you want to go back there and check that out, I will add that link in the video here. And what's up, my Mystical Illuminations family? Astara Inrstelr here. Hope you're all having a beautiful time as you receive this transmission. Going to be getting into a little bit about where we are at in this moment in terms of personal, planetary, cosmic evolution. Going to be getting into some galactic history and also going to be tying this into how this relates to the new meditation activation ceremony that I've created with links down below. So for starters, I'll also say that some of this stuff is tying into the last video, other videos I've made. Go ahead and check those out if you want to catch up a little bit or feel the call for that. So what we've had lately is Jupiter's ingress into Pisces, of course, and this has been super powerful, beautiful shifts here. And this relates to the new Aquarian Christic consciousness that is both anchoring personally in yourself, should you so choose to cultivate it and invite in it and deepen that, which is related to you manifesting and embodying your highest self, your ascended self, anchoring that into your personal vehicle, your personal avatar, and this, of course, playing a part in anchoring this new ascended Christ consciousness here on the planet, the 5D and higher realms, which of course has to do with your ability to tune into and tap into these highest organic timelines for both yourself and thus the planetary incarnation process that's happening as a whole. And so where we are at is, over the past few months since we've entered into the Aquarian age, Jupiter was making its way through Aquarius, really expanding the nervous system in templates of this higher cosmic mind, this higher Aquarian Christic mind, both personally in yourself and also, of course, here on the planet as well, while Saturn is over there solidifying these new nervous system components. This is squaring over to Uranus, which is bringing the Aquarius ruler, of course, Uranus, is bringing this remembrance, this electrical consciousness down all the way into the bones, into the crystalline core of the planet, into yourself to reawaken this remembrance of this higher dimensional cosmic consciousness, which, of course, is also happening. The planet enters into its more full awareness of a cosmic species as well. Humanity is coming into this remembrance process more and more as we go in. So as Jupiter is recently expanding that nervous system, those electrical connections, so that higher mind can really start to function. Now as Jupiter moves its way into Pisces, what this is doing is expanding the ability for those electrical connections and nervous system to really tap into the memories in the water, right? This is both the water in our body, but it is also the higher dimensional waters of the womb, the galactic cosmic womb, which we are all a part of. And of course, this has a lot to do with this bigger process that's been going on as a whole for the planet, because you see in the Piscean age, what we had is the seed, right? That Virgoan seed of Christ consciousness planted here on the planet, planted here in the earth. And that was really like about the masculine consciousness, right? That template, the seed of Christic consciousness, this galactic process that's been going on in the planet. Of course, that consciousness came from Sirius B. A lot of it did. If you all aren't familiar, Sirius B was the star in the constellation of Sirius that had exploded, right? So many of us, this is of course connected by many of us star seeds, indigos, different light beings, may have this feeling of like, you know, missing home. Many of us also miss home. We have other cosmic homes and different things like that. But in particular, many of us may have lives on Sirius and connections to that consciousness there, which is why many of us are being asked to bring this new home, which is this 5D and higher Christ consciousness to this planet here. And this is part of the evolutionary process of healing different tragedies, different traumas, things that of course led to those issues in Sirius and other places, and of course led to different things here, the falling of Atlantis and Lemuria, all these different things. This Christic consciousness is really here to heal these different genetic issues that have gone on, these illusions of separation, really bringing the awareness of this whole planetary collective consciousness and cosmic consciousness into alignment, which is this larger child of what has been called the Christ. Now, as we move into the Aquarian age, what's coming online is what has been called Sophia, which is, Sophia is the feminine aspect of this Christic consciousness, which has a lot to do with the body, right? We've had the seed in the Piscean age, which is, you know, the templates in the mind, those electrical blueprints and those templates and things like that. And then now in the Aquarian age, we have the body, which is actually starting to grow and develop. So we've had the nervous system start to develop just like it does a child in the womb. And now what is happening as Jupiter expands into Pisces is a remembrance, right? Because the water is the Akashic. The water is the memories and the ability to connect, right? This is why Pisces and different water signs are connected to intuitive consciousness, psychic consciousness, things like that. And this is what's starting to deepen and come online right now, is our ability for our nervous systems to tap into the memories of who we are, why we came here, the memories of this process and this cosmic consciousness, our ascended selves coming into the nervous system first has to be developed. And then the memories, you know, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there's, you know, Dr. Emoto's work, Memories in Water. And so what's important in this process as we're moving forward is to make sure that the memories in the water are clean and clear. There's this process of transmuting different distortions and imprints that have been present in those waters in that Akashic field, right? And this is a big part of the activation, the ceremony that I provided links to down below, is to really assist in connecting you to your own personal perfected memory and template of water. So as you move forward, your growth and your soul's evolution and development here, those distortions which have been present here on the planet in different places in the cosmos for some time can be cleared as we make this transition from Pisces to Aquarius, because the Piscean age came with a lot of secrecy, a lot of different distortions and things like that, so that the intelligence within you, within the individual, within the child that's developing here, could remain safe and protected. This secrecy that's happened on the planet, a lot of it was to shield the consciousness of this Christic child as it developed, so it would allow to be going through its own processes here, because it's so important. Now, to get a little bit more into what I was talking about with Sirius and things like that. So the way that this works a lot of times in our development, our own personal bodies, our templates, connections to Sirius have to do with what are known as the Bronson-Wernicke centers in the brain. This is why there's associations with Sirius and the dog star, things like that, because it is this aspect in our consciousness, these aspects of our brain that allow us to use words, right? And this is why in the beginning of the Bible, it says in the beginning, the Word was with God, the Word was God. And the words that we use, our language that we use, really affect the template of our evolution, of our DNA, of the world that we are experiencing. As Terence McKenna used to say, the world is made of word, it's made of language, right? So when we are a child, we're really open and connected into this more beautiful, open and free consciousness, right? We're very tuned in energetically to our parents' surroundings, psychic fields often, and things like that. And then we start to be imprinted with the program of language, right? Now, this language, of course, for many of us out there is English. Now, English does map over the two-strand DNA, right? There has been people like a brother of mine, Daniel Winter, has done a lot of great research showing how if you look at the cursive, like a curse, right? It's like a spell, the cursive English language, it actually maps out in imprinting over top of the spirals of DNA. You can line them up and see how they're connected. Now, this, of course, is a process that we're all part of, a process that we're all in other languages, of course, Latin, things like that. They're all intertwined and interconnected in this way because this is a planetary evolutionary process that's going on. Also want to mention right now, if you're getting some great stuff from this, go ahead and smash up the like button, comment, share, really spread this information out there because it wants to be got out there right now, definitely, and really appreciate you. So this language, right? So the sound frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies of sound of language, they start to weave inside of us, right? So our parents, our friends, our loved ones, the TV, all these different things, they start to imprint us with language. And what happens is that language, it makes a break in this psychic awareness, this intuitive consciousness. Our identity structure begins to form around the program, the matrix of this language. And this is why that aspect of ourself also, Pavlov's dog experiment, you can see how dogs can be programmed with language, with commands and things like that. So this really, as we learn this language, what happens is our consciousness starts to separate and individualization happens. And so we start to disassociate with the fullness of our being. And this is connected to why Sirius B was destroyed. And this is connected to memories of this that we have within our being, of that disconnection from this larger consciousness. Now, this is, of course, all part of the perfected plan. I get into some of these different things that happen with the War of Orion and how we're healing that as well. This connecting to the reptilian consciousness, which has to do with how that functioning of the words and that separation consciousness are also connected to our reptilian brainstem and how that played a part in the evolutionary process, and the reptilians came here and genetically manipulated things to create the human race and things like that. But the beautiful part is this is all part of the higher plan and what we are all here to do to awaken this higher Christ consciousness. Now, Orion is a very important part of this because Orion is connected to our optic thalamus, right? And in the Bible, there's this famous quote that says, "Let thine eye be single and the whole world will be filled with light." And what this is a transcendence of duality, right? This is, the duality of the two dual serpents, right? The positive and negative, the good and bad, the good and evil. As we break down that polarity, we come back into this single consciousness, which is this cosmic awareness and this cosmic consciousness. And as we do that, we go through also this process of our awareness, our consciousness coming back into the psychic waters, into the astral waters, into the higher dimensional waters that are also in space, right? Because there's this as above, so below process that's going on here. But it really requires us to go deeply into these wounds in our body, into uncomfortable things in our nervous systems. And then we finally start to get to the water, which is the true memory of our purpose here, of our soul's purpose, of our divine purpose. And we can move past all those matrix programs of like, doing things just based on money or because someone said we were supposed to do something. And as this electrical consciousness starts to come into the water, it also opens us up to our true magic, our true freedom, which is as a co-creator here. We connect into that Father, Mother, God source within us in that cosmic consciousness. We realize we are a child of this divine being, and our individuality, our Christic consciousness, your personal ascended master of that Christic light and consciousness is coming online at this time. And so this is a process of being able to go back through that disconnection, that inner disconnection that has to do with Sirius B, which is when we made that break in consciousness of simply relying on words and processing in the brain this positive and negative, good and bad languages that we have, and start to go more fully back into the body, fully back into psychic awareness and intuitive consciousness. What does this also have to do with what's going on right now, which is very, very important? So as of yesterday, we just went into this Mercury retrograde in Gemini. Gemini, of course, there are portions of Gemini which are in Orion. There are, and this has to do with the part of the brain, right? Gemini is that the twins, the part of the brain that looks at things in terms of good and evil, positive and negative. It's that two split sort of aspect of consciousness. Now, this Mercury retrograde is offering us an opportunity with its squares to that have been going on to Neptune, aspects to Jupiter that have been going on as well. We're about to have this Venus trine Neptune square, and the Sun squaring over to Saturn to really bring the light of awareness into these aspects of our galactic memory, of our divine consciousness and things like that. Now, this makes Mercury retrograde coming up somewhat confusing for those that are really just living more in this mental awareness, this mental consciousness, as it makes all these these aspects to Neptune. This is really creating situations where communications, where things that come in the mind can be very deceptive or distortive, not really contain the full truth. Even aspects of what I'm saying right now don't have the full brevity of what I'm saying here. What I would recommend is maybe even re-going through this talk and tuning in, getting the frequencies of this message, this transmission, because it's much more beyond just the words I'm saying. It's about the frequencies that are being transmitted to you right now, just like this meditation activation ceremony. And what this ceremony, with the link down below, really is doing is putting your own source connected imprint on your water consciousness so that you can fully tune back into those spaces within, or more fully tune back into those spaces within, clearing out potential distortions or clouding or false memory implants, programs, and things like that that may be creating uncomfortability or sending false messages when we tune into those psychic intuitive abilities. Because this next period, it is so important to trust that intuitive connection, to trust what our true soul, what our true being is saying. And also with Jupiter, in the location it's in, this is connected directly to Sirius. the 55th gate in human design, the 55th gate in the gene keys, is connected in our astral system, in our solar plexus, to the 39th gate where Sirius is. And so this is really allowing us to come into this trust, into this faith, into this surrender that can only happen when we relax into our body, when we really tune into the trust and surrender of that liquid awareness, that consciousness in the womb, right? The womb is our body. The womb is this world we are in. And the more we can relax and tune into those messages, the more that we can sense that we are always taken care of. We are always connected. We're always receiving these messages of our divinity, of this higher mind, this higher consciousness. And by tuning into that waters, those liquids of psychic awareness, of intuitive awareness, we can tune into and listen to where this body, this earth body, this cosmic body, where we are being led to be taken care of as this child of the earth, as this child of the cosmos. And yeah, this is the transmission that I have for you right now. I'll be doing more on this, more iterations. All my videos are always really beautifully and poetically interconnected in a continuation of a story that's unfolding. I'm so glad that you're part of this story with me. If this has been helpful for you, please, as always, smash up that like button, share on social media, connect with me on social media. And if you want a one-on-one session to really dive into things that may be getting in the way of this, or ushering in new levels and layers of your ascended path, the highest organic blueprint, go ahead and book a one-on-one consultation below. I love you all so much. Thanks for tuning in, and have a beautiful rest of your week.